Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm cracking a pack. Today is pack number 1 of my Magic the Gathering Core Set 2021 bundle. The focus of the video is, what is your pick? As I crack the pack, I will discuss which card would be my pack 1 pick 1. My viewpoint will be from a very casual Magic the Gathering player perspective. It will not be a Pro Tour grinder or even a Friday night Magic grinder take. It will be a kitchen table draft, having fun with friends opinion. Check out my preview video on my Core Set 2021 bundle. I've added the link to the preview video in the description below. So let's get pack number 1 out. So I've got all 10 of them numbered here. We're gonna start with pack number 1. Put the rest into the box. All right, hopefully I'll be able to pull a very awesome card out of the pack. Looks like these are the Made in Japan English boosters. So, token, rare, uncommon, uncommon. So we'll put those like that, like that, like that, and hope that I got them right. All right, first card is Caged Zombie, 3 mana, 2 and a black. It's a zombie, 2/3. You can pay 1 and a black, tap it. Each opponent loses 2 life. Activate this ability only if a creature died this turn. A morbid mechanic, a homage to the original Innistrad block. I've played this a couple of times, and it's surprising that you can get 4 to 6 life loss out of this card. Next up is Sky Scanner, 3 generic mana, artifact creature Thopter at 1/1. It's a flyer. When Sky Scanner enters the battlefield, draw a card. I think the only deck that you'd want to play it in is the blue-red or blue-green, where drawing a card during the turn or your second card of turn matters. Aside from this, I've cut it quite a bit. Next up is Rousing Reed, 3 mana, 2 and a blue. Enchantment Aura, enchant creature. When Rousing Reed enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. This, in my opinion, is the best blue common. I've drafted this every single time I could. It is a beating. You enchant a creature, you draw 2 cards, you pitch a land, now you've got a flyer with some added power and toughness. Awesome blue common. Next up is Duress, a single black mana, sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. It's a reprint that we've seen many, many times. It's an okay card. I haven't played it that much because it seems a little too slow. Next up is Life Goes On, single green mana. You gain 4 life. If a creature died this turn, morbid if you will, you gain 8 life instead. I haven't played this card once. I've never drafted it to where I wanted it. Next up is Rise Again, 5 mana, 4 and a black, sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Dimir or blue-black has a recurse creatures from your graveyard effect. It has to be in a deck where you have something in your graveyard to bring back to the battlefield for cheap. Next up is Snare Spinner, 2 mana, 1 and a green. It's a spider at 1/3. It has reach. Whenever Snare Spinner blocks a creature with flying, Snare Spinner gets +2/+0 until end of turn. This is a card that I hate to see on the battlefield against me. I like playing blue-white flyers. I can almost count on one of these things showing up and hosing out my plan. I really hate using my kill spell or my destroy spell on Snare Spinner. Next up is Capture Sphere, 4 mana, 3 and a blue, enchantment aura, flash, enchant creature. When Capture Sphere enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Your basic blue removal. It's not the best in the world. However, in blue, you're usually going long in the game, and so having something at 4 mana that you can flash in to shut down their main attacker is good. Next up is Celestial Enforcer, 3 mana, 2 and a white, human cleric at 2/3. You can pay 1 and a white, tap it, Tap target creature, activate this ability only if you control a creature with flying. I typically am running flying decks, so I like this card. This one is quite a bit more restrictive because you need to have a flyer out to be able to use the ability. I'm not as high on it as I am with some of the other shutdown tapper white effects. Next up is Turn to Slag, 5 mana, 3 generic, 2 red, sorcery. Turn to Slag deals 5 damage to target creature. Destroy all equipment attached to that creature. I'm not a fan of it. Most of the time your red decks are going really fast and can't afford to have a 5 mana clunker like this. It is not the best removal in red, and it's not something I actively look to draft. Next up is our first uncommon. This used to be a rare in Magic Origins, downshifted to an uncommon. Vryn Wingmare, 3 mana, 2 and a white, Pegasus at 2/1. It's a flyer. Non-creature spells cost 1 generic more to cast. In the right deck, this is going to hose over your opponent. I would typically play this in a white-green heavy creature build where I'm not relying on non-creature spells. This is great against the blue-red deck where they're trying to use some instant sorceries to draw a card, get card advantage. Next uncommon is Unleash Fury. 2 mana, 1 generic, 1 red. Instant, double the power of target creature until end of turn. It simply is doubling the power of target creature. Now in a couple of draft games, I have won because of this card. You definitely need to have creatures that are going to get through with some sort of evasion mechanic, and then you can pile more damage on top with this. Next up, looks like spoiled the rare, is Kinetic Augur, 4 mana, 3 and a red, Human Shaman at star 4, has trample. Kinetic Augur's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. When Kinetic Augur enters the battlefield, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. This plays really well in a red-blue deck. It doesn't play so well in any other deck because you're not really playing too many instants and sorceries. This is one that is a little difficult to pull off in draft. I haven't had the opportunity to play it. I've had it played against me, and it did little if anything. In fact, if I remember right, it eventually blocked and died to one of my bigger creatures. Okay, our rare in the pack, which was spoiled because the cards are really slippy, is Feline Sovereign, 3 mana, 2 and a green. It's a cat at 2/3. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs. Whenever one or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. This particular card, it's going to be interesting to see if there's other cats or there's more of a cat's dog theme going forward. I do like that it gives me the ability that if one of my cats deals combat damage, I can get rid of an artifact or an enchantment. I like that it's a cat lord, it buffs my other cats. And then Blossoming Sands is our dual land and not even a token, a stupid ad card. Okay, my favorite card out of the pack is going to be between Feline Sovereign and really none of the uncommons excite me that much. Common-wise, I think in this particular pack, I actually would draft a Rousing Reed. I've played Rousing Reed a couple of times already. Play it on any sort of a creature, you give it flying, you draw 2 cards, you discard a card, it puts you ahead, it gives you some advantage. In fact, the majority of the games where I played Rousing Reed, the creature that I've played it on dies instantly or there is no response and it takes over the game. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Take some time to tell me in the comment section what was your favorite card or the best card out of the pack. Until next time when I'm back to crack pack number 2 in my Magic the Gathering Core Set 2021 bundle in. What is your pick?